Yeah, I mean, he's been dealing with a lot of stuff to start the year, a lot of lower body stuff, a thigh contusion, and so I think a week and reevaluate and try and get him where he's 100% healthy.
One of the things, is Brad able to do anything as far as practice today?
Yeah, Brad did a significant part of practice. He didn't do everything, but he looked good when he did practice. And it's always you got to wait and see how they respond, see how they feel tomorrow. But it was a good day.
Yeah. What's the status for tomorrow?
I haven't been given a status of what he'll be listed at. I think there's probably a check-in after practice, and then there's probably check-in before 5 o'clock when we got to submit the injury, and then we'll see how he feels tomorrow. It's like become the rhythm of the NBA. But I think overall very positive with Brad.
The only other follow I had with Oso and Mason, one of the things that combine is to dive to the rim, he collapses, the three is open. If they don't, they can get a shot. How big is that dynamic? What this group considering the shooters you guys have?
Yeah, no, I think their ability to kind of roll and create pressure on the rim, and ability to go up above the rim and get lobs. It's a different kind of spacing. Vertical spacing's become what we call it, but they need to learn how to play in space too, and they're I think getting comfortable and just have such high IQs. They've been good.
Coach, when you look at Monte Morris's minutes, he's been able to come in and give you a lift. How difficult is it when you know that there's only a certain amount of minutes to go around, but you have a guy like that is capable of coming in and giving that?
Yeah, I mean, he's been incredibly professional. Every time he's played well. He might not play a game or two, and he's ready whenever I call his number. I've been beyond impressed with him, just the professionalism, the toughness, and the way he's played. So he's been really, really, good for us, and it's good for our team to see somebody who's just ready whenever they get an opportunity.
We've been talking to Grayson, and he was saying over the summer he worked on taking deeper threes. Was that something that you guys talked to him about, or just kind of a natural thing that he wanted to progress in his own game?
He might have anticipated that from our past, and I don't remember or know that we specifically talked about it, but he knows that I think the more you can space, the more you can create bigger boxes on the court, the better it's going to be. He and I have done it in our past together, and so I think he might have just known.
With the Spurs tomorrow, I want to ask you about facing Chris. Just what goes into it as a coach, coaching against a guy who is like a coach on the floor, basically.
Yeah, I mean, he very much. I mean, there's the cliche of having a coach on the court, but I don't know that I've seen anybody that is more true. It is not a cliche. It's the real deal. How he can organize a team, get everybody in the right spots, get everybody to execute at a high level. Do all the little things that go into, there's details that are important, and Chris understands them at as high a level as probably any coach, as any player. So he's always a challenge to go against.
When a player gets involved in like the game within a game within a game, can that be fun as a coach? Kind of have that back and forth with a player like that.
Not with somebody like him. He makes it miserable. He's
more work, right?
Yeah, no, work. And I don't want to say he's usually one or two steps ahead of me, but he's usually one or two steps ahead of me.
Coach, Book is just 1 point away from becoming the second ever since player to reach 15K. Coach, just speak to what it's like for someone to make that mark in the franchise and how it feels to be on the sidelines for them.
Yeah, 15,000 points with one organization, that's rare territory. It speaks to, what he's become for the Phoenix Suns and our organization, and from being drafted and developing and winning at a high level and being, an individual scorer at a high level. So, and he's probably just in the middle of that journey. So I feel blessed. I feel fortunate to be a part of it.
When you look at Wembanyama and just what he's been able to do and what he has left to do, is there anything you've noticed from him so far year to year and what you've been able to see of him this year?
I mean, it's interesting because, I watched some NBA basketball last year, but really his rookie year, I was out. And so I'm not probably the expert on Wemby, and I don't know that I can really, fair to say what he's done from last year to this year. And I just know he's a heck of a player. All my friends that I know have been saying it from day one, and now we're preparing for it and see it. And exciting for the league and terrible for the rest of us.
Coach, the other thing I had was on the on screens. I know that it's been a point of emphasis not only throughout the league, but I think for you specifically. Have you noticed more consistency with the call, or are you still seeing inconsistency on what's being called a moving screen or not?
It's a good, tough question. I think it's not an easy call for the refs. I think it is something where we want and we kind of really need to demand consistency. But it's you got moving people, moving parts. It's not an easy call, and it feels like it's settled in, to be honest, from the beginning of the season to where we are now. But it's always one of those things. It's kind of a roller coaster ride, I'm sure, for the referees, for coaches, for players. But it's part of our league, and you got to make the best of it.
And especially for you guys defensively, that's something where you want to reward your players, right? If they work hard to get around a screen and the guy moves, you want that guy to be rewarded.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's, I think part of our teaching, part of our mindset is to not be screened. Be hard to screen. Don't get screened. Compete. And when we're at our best, I think, sometimes the moving screen is the call. And, it's a turnover. It's part of our pick and roll coverage. It's, something that we track and, something that can be obviously a positive for us.
Nurkic going to be out for a minute. How big is that adjustment needed to be made with him?
Yeah, just it's opportunity. Mason and O are going to be ready, for some more minutes. And it's just next guy up mentality. We know what Nurk brings to the table. And we just got to, be ready to adjust. A little bit more, a team effort, probably rebounding wise. And, but I know Mason, they'll be ready to go and ready for the opportunity.
One of the dynamics that both of those guys have, they can dive to the rim.
Yep.
Defense collapses, the three can be open.
Yeah.
Will that be maybe how the offense functions when you do screen and roll with that?
Yeah, it'll be big. It'll be big. And then I think we showed that a little bit last game. So just trying to build off of that, capitalize on that. Using, some of their, skills to our advantage, scheme-wise. And, just trying to build off of last game. I think last game was a perfect example of kind of what they bring to the table offensively and, how they can help us generate threes and generate open looks. So just trying to play off of that. And so I think it'll be good for us.
One other thing I have was looking at also, Bradley was saying, the coach let me play through mistakes.
Yeah.
Not, okay, you made a mistake, you got to sit down.
Yeah.
How big is that for a rookie to have that kind of thing?
It's huge. The only way you can grow in this league is through reps and through game reps, honestly. So there's going to be some good. There's going to be some not so good that you got to learn from, but you got to go through it. And so, for him to be able to play through some of these mistakes, the good thing about O is that he wants to learn. He's watching film. He's asking a ton of questions. He's paying attention to details. When he's not in the game, he's locked in, whether he's in or out the lineup, in or out the rotation. So he wants to get better. He wants to grow, and I think that's helping him, kind of along this rookie learning curve. But the thing, with Coach is he's letting him kind of play through some of these mistakes, and that's the only way you learn, through some of these things.
You talked about trying to find the balance between setting guys up and the guys telling you to be aggressive. Do you feel like you're in a good place with that recently, especially with some of the higher scoring games you have?
Yeah, I think so. And it's going to be, I've said it from the beginning, like just a work in progress throughout the year. In the big picture, it's still early. So just continue to try to find ways to help the team, both scoring the ball, setting guys up, touching the paint, making plays. And so I think I'm in a good rhythm. I feel like I'm continuing to get familiar, and I still feel like there's so much room for growth, both as a scorer and as a playmaker. Just continuing to build chemistry, with the guys and with the team. And we've had different lineups, kind of guys in and out the lineup. So some of these things take a more extended period of time. But I'm always confident as a player, confident in what I bring to the table, and I think just my familiarity with Bud's scheme and his system will only continue to grow. So.
And then with the NBA Cup game tomorrow, you guys like feel a tangible difference between those games and regular games? Do you talk about like the standings and the point differentials?
We pay attention to them, yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, you want to win every game, regardless. So every game we've approached, we're trying to win. The cup game, you can tell, is a little different, just with the different courts and things like that. But at the end of the day, it's another game that we're trying to win, and so that's how we approach it.
You've played against Chris for a handful of years. What goes into playing against Chris Paul, even when he's at this age? And still
Yeah, just his basketball IQ, his mind, for the game has always been top notch, and so he knows how to manipulate the game on both ends of the floor, and so you got to try to offset that. And even at his age, he's still playing extremely well. And so he's always a task that you're trying to game plan for and figure out, and you got to try to just limit. He's going to try to put his fingerprints on the game. You got to just try to minimize that as much as possible.
Rumor said that if we won the playing tournament or the cup game, the whole thing, you would do something like me. Also, I don't know if that's true.
We'll see. I gotta go I gotta see how many strikes you guys got. So I gotta go look at my notes. But we'll circle back.
The strikes?
Rookies, they get a certain amount of strikes before we got some good rookies, man.
to go back to Chris, was that a move when you saw it and in the moment kind of felt like, man, that's gonna be great for your brother to learn in terms of like that?
Yes. Yep. 100%. Obviously, everyone knows who Chris is as a player. Everywhere he's gone, he's won. He's impacted winning. And as a point guard, who better than to learn from, be around every day, get to ask questions, pick their brain. And so when I saw that move, I just I knew that would be a good thing for Trey, and getting a chance to be around Chris every day, like I said, and just really observe and kind of soak up that knowledge that he has. It'll just be a great thing for him.
Did you know you're 9-1 against your brother?
I didn't know the exact number, but I knew there was only one loss, and that came last year. I was trying to. I had a good streak going, but I knew it was lopsided. I knew that.
To piggyback off of what Kellen was asking about your brother, what did it give you? Much more energy to go up against him, dating back the whole lifetime living together?
There's just a natural energy to the game, just with it being, your brother. Our family, is always in town for that game. It's a big deal for our family. We don't take it for granted, one bit. What we're doing, and when we share the NBA, floor, that's something that you really can't even dream of, right? Like, to make it to this level is, a big enough task in itself, and then for us both to be able to make it and playing against each other, it's surreal. So we definitely enjoy that night, make the most of it. Our family, comes in town, and it's somewhat like a celebration, just because we knew what went into this, so many hours in the gym. So much dedication for not only us, but our loved ones around us who helped us get here. So there's definitely a more a natural energy that comes with it.
Yeah, well, there's a couple of combos of brothers in the NBA, like of course LaMelo and Lonzo, and then there's Jalen and Cody Williams, of course. So what would you say was the best brother duo or combination in the league right now? How would you rank?
Right now, that's a tough one. I don't know if I gotta rank it. I'm gonna plead the fifth on that one.
Tyus, just trying to get Brian and Oso were telling us the other day that it would mean a lot to win. As vets, does it mean a lot to be able to play and hopefully win something for the rookies?
Yeah, most definitely. Again, like I said, anytime we get a chance to get out on the court and compete, we're trying to win. And I think that would be a great opportunity, as a team to be able to, win something, especially we know what our goals are come end of the year. And so to be in an environment like that where you're in a playoff, it's not the playoffs, but a different feeling than just a regular season game. it's nothing but a positive for us. And then it'd be cool for the rookies. Get them some extra cash in their pockets, especially early on in their NBA careers. I know how that goes. So yeah, that's definitely another added bonus to it.